Hi there, my name is Anita and this is my sewing channel, Sewing Yogi. Happy New Year to everybody. Time is flying already in the second week of January. I hope you all had an amazing Christmas or festive time for whatever you celebrate, and you had an amazing New Year, whatever you did, and you had plenty of time to get some sewing done. So I didn't actually get much time to do some sewing over the festive period. Yeah, I don't know, I struggled a little bit on the festive time. I felt a little bit rough. Yeah, but I'm good now and I'm glad I'm back at work. I'm glad my routine is back. I love, love, love doing what I do, and I love being active. I can't help myself. I can't sit around for very long. I have to keep myself active. It drives me insane just sitting around doing nothing. So I'm pleased I'm back at work. So also just want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed or liked any of my vlogs in 2022. I did have a little thing from YouTube to tell me all my statistics for the year, and I think it's, well, as far as I'm concerned, I don't really know what I'm doing, but it looked fine to me, it looked good. So thank you to everybody. And also thanks to people who have commented, and especially the Christmas one I did. Thank you to the people that commented. I didn't get a chance to message you back. I do apologise. Yeah, Christmas time was a bit of a strange one. It was nice, but it was a bit strange. Yeah, and so yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for everybody. And also, if you do want to join me on my journey of sewing, then please do subscribe. It's completely free. You just have to click on the subscribe button and then press the little bell if you want notifications when my vlogs will come up. And then you can see more of me. Not that I've been doing that many vlogs. In 2022, I would have liked to have got more done, but I didn't really get a chance to. And also, I've got a confession to make. I am terrible for overthinking things, and I've always had a little maybe devil or voice in my head that always tells me that I'm no good and I'm rubbish and I haven't done enough, or I'm not good enough, or, you know, stupid things. And I kind of talk myself out of doing vlogging sometimes. So some days I'll think I'm going to do a vlog today, and then my little voice in my head says, but no one's interested in what you've got to say, so don't bother. And it's terrible. And I know lots of people have this. I talk to lots of people and students that tell me that they have this in their heads as well. And it's one of the things of being a human being. And I think some people are very, very good at ignoring the little voice, or just don't have that voice. But there are lots of us out there that have that voice. And so I do apologise that I don't get enough content out. And I'm really trying this year to overcome that little voice in my head that tells me I'm no good, or I'm not worthy of anything, or, you know, all that kind of stuff, that those little voices that we have in our head. I'm going to try and do my best to ignore it and just get on with the things that I love doing. I'm just going to chat to you about what I made in December, and there aren't that many things. Well, I didn't think there were that many things, but having collected them all together, there's actually quite a few. So the first thing I'm going to chat to you about today is this particular pattern I have on now, which is the cardigan pattern. And it is a free pattern. So this is my free pattern of the month, December. And it is the Harper cardigan by Sinclair Patterns. And I've wanted to make this for such a long time and just haven't got round to it. So the fabric I've used for this is just something out of my stash. I think I purchased it from the market store. I don't know what sort of fabric it is. It's sort of woolly, and I actually thought when I was making it, it feels a little bit like a boucle. It has some stretch in it, not loads, but enough, I think, for this particular pattern. And I really, really love this. I'm more surprised than I thought can I get my words out? I'm more surprised at how well it's turned out. And I love the cardigan, I love the pattern. And for a free pattern, I think this is amazing, because I'm sure there are other patterns out there that are similar that you have to pay for, which are quite expensive. I won't name any, but yeah, this is a beautiful cardigan and I love it. So I have just put it on with an Edie top. I think it's the Sew Over Edie top I put it on with, and just a pair of ready to wear jeans, just so that you can see it. Tried to keep the colours light because obviously this is black and you're probably not going to be able to see it very much. However, if I try and hold it up to the camera, you might be able to see the fabric. There you go. So it's kind of like, I wouldn't say fluffy, but it has like a bobbled effect on it. And it is really, really soft. And the front band that goes all the way around. And this is meant to have pockets, but I decided not to put the pockets on. I just didn't really feel that the pockets would work on this fabric, but maybe they would have done. And I have made the long cardigan version, so I'll stand back so you can see it. Okay, so you can see the length of this. I have left it the length that they, the pattern pieces, you know, line where you draw. I've left it that length, and I think it's a nice length. I really do love it. It kind of comes just to kind of above my knee. You could have it shorter, but I actually quite like it this length. It feels really snuggly. I think it's a lovely shape. It seems to be a really nice and flattering silhouette. It's quite snug, and yeah, I really, really love it. Now I made the size small. I think you get 2 sizes for small, and I think, I'm not sure if any of the others did that, but there was a small which was a size 6 and then a small was a size 8. I went with a small size 8, and I think it just about fits. I mean, obviously it's not meant to fold over, and you are almost meant to wear it loose like that, but I just think it's lovely. The sleeves I have, again, left as the length that they were. I don't think I've taken anything off. No, I didn't. They're maybe just a tiny bit long, but I don't mind. I actually quite like the fact that they're a little bit longer. And what else? So yeah, there has a little band at the bottom. I'll show you. It has a band at the bottom as well, and then the band that goes all the way at the top. I just overlocked inside. You could probably make that more attractive inside if you wanted to, doing a different colour overlocking thread, or yeah. But anyway, I really love this. I just think it's really, really, really cute, and it's really snuggly. I really love this fabric. It's much nicer than I thought it would be. It's really soft. I do apologise, I was just talking then. I wasn't actually on the camera. My face wasn't on the camera, so you could just see the cardigan and me chattering away with my little voice going on in the background. But yeah, so hopefully you got the gist, but I do love it. I really, really love it. And yeah, so essentially I just did the straight size small, as I said, the small, and also the version which is petite. So you can get 2 versions of this. You can get a regular version. I think that's so amazing that you have a free pattern that will cover all those bases. And there's different versions of this cardigan that you can do. There's a shorter cardigan, there's kind of like a midi cardigan, and then, or is it, no, you can have the short cardigan, I'll get this right in a minute, short cardigan, the longer cardigan, and then there's a duster cardigan, so you can have a full length cardigan, which again I might try and make at some point. I really, really love this. Yeah, so you just go on their website. I think you might just have to put in your email address to get the free pattern, but you know, I would definitely say get the pattern because it's brilliant. Now I got mine printed for me from a printer's, because it is very complicated. When you look at some of the lines, you have to really concentrate. So what I did, I just went round my size with a highlighter pen just to highlight the size that I needed and the length that I needed, because it can be quite confusing. The lines are all quite close together and it's not very clear. And then also I noticed that in the pattern, when it came to doing the collar, it said about the notches being around the neck area. Now on the pattern, on my pattern, there are no notches. So that was a little bit confusing. So what I did is I just pinned all these bits in first, and then what I had left, I just evened out around that collar area by this towards the shoulder seams. So yeah, that was only one thing that I felt that there was a bit of a problem with. And then also the seam allowance is just 1/4 inch. And if you're using a really tricky or thick fabric, it can be quite hard going. And because I sew my sort of knit stuff on the sewing machine and then overlock afterwards, it was quite challenging. However, if you're just going to do it straight on the overlocker, you don't need to cut anything off, which I think is actually probably a bonus. So next time when I make this, I'm just going to go for it and straight overlock it without sewing it first. Because obviously I've made it now, I know how it fits together. I think I'd be probably fine to just go straight in, overlock. My overlocker has a problem where it just won't cut. I think the blade needs redoing, refitting, a new one put in, so it doesn't cut anything. It will trim off very fine edges, but it won't cut through, you know, especially knit fabric. It just makes a mess of everything. So yeah, I thought that was a plus, even though the seam allowance I thought for the sewing machine was a little bit small for me. And that's it basically. That's all I did. I didn't make any alterations to sleeves, length, anything at all. I just did a straight size small, which was the 6. And I do put my measurements down in the description below, so just in case you want any reference to my sizes. But yeah, I love this, and I'm going to make more of them. I actually really love this version, and I'm kind of glad it's black because it's going to go with everything. I know it's a bit boring and you can't see it very well, but I'm really happy with it because it's just going to go with a lot of things. So yeah, so that is the Harper cardigan by Sinclair Patterns. So on to the next thing that I made. Now I did say that I was going to make this in a vlog I did on December. I think it might have been my fireside vlog that I did. And I thought about making this in, I think I'd said I was going to do a black fabric, but when I got that black fabric out, I didn't have enough. This pattern takes up a lot of fabric, I think. It is the Sew Over It Georgie dress. Another pattern I've wanted to make for ages and ages and ages, and I just haven't had time or haven't got around to it. So I have made this in a cotton jersey. Again, it's fabric of my stash, and again, I think this was from the market. So sorry about me and my market buys. And I bought it from Birmingham Rag Market. It's got to be at least 4 years ago, I'd say, because obviously it was pre-COVID. Yeah, it could have been 3 or 4 years ago I bought this. And I think it was about £1 a metre. And it's actually really lovely fabric. It's really, really nice fabric. So yeah, I've made the Georgie dress. And again, I am surprised that I like this more than I thought. Now, I didn't want to do this version. This is the version, and I can't remember what version it is that I have. I think this is version 2. There's version 1 and there's version 2. So version 2 has a gathered skirt, and then version 1 has just a circle, a three-quarter skirt. A three-quarter circle skirt. It's a bit of a mouthful. So yeah, I went with a gathered skirt first because I didn't have enough fabric for the black, and then this one is a cotton jersey, and for the cotton jersey you have to do the kind of gathered skirt, so it's a bit softer and a bit drapier. I don't think it would have worked for version 1. And yeah, I really love this. Now, this one I just thought, is it going to be a wearable 12? So I wasn't too fussed about it, just went in there straight for it. And I made an 8 on the shoulders and then a 10 for the bust area and all the rest of it. So it's just the 8 that I do neckline. I think it's the 8 at the back of the neckline. And then it's the 10 for the crossover, which I'm really pleased I did, and because it fits me perfectly. And then for this, the skirt, I had to shorten. It's 15.5 inches I have taken off the length of this skirt. It seems insane, but I think it's meant to be a midi length skirt. Bearing in mind I'm a shorty, so I wanted it to sit above my knee or thereabouts because I'm going to be wearing it with tights. And I like the idea of it being like shorter and more, yeah, just cuter. I don't really like the midi length. Well, I don't do the midi length on me. It just doesn't work. I do apologise if you love midi length and you are short and you think you look great. You probably do. It's just maybe me, because I just feel for me it just doesn't work. So anyway, yeah, so 15.5 inches I took off the skirt, and then I put a 2 centimetre hem on the bottom of the skirt and the sleeves. I've taken nothing off the sleeves and just gave myself a 2 centimetre turn up. And that is pretty much it. There is nothing else that I have adjusted on this. For this particular neckline, you are meant to put in the clear elastic. Now, I didn't have enough clear elastic, and it says in the pattern that you can use clear elastic or just standard cotton tape. So I just went with standard cotton tape. However, if you watch the Sew Over It Sew Along on YouTube, I think Lisa Comfort uses just a general elastic, a normal white elastic, which I'm annoyed about because I wish I'd seen it before I made it. I only watched it afterwards, and I would have put in the elastic. So I just used a cotton tape. It is a little bit tight to get this on and off because this is not going to stretch. However, it's, you know, it is making this look really nice, I think, because it isn't budging. And there's no chance of it opening or, you know, any accidents or anything like that. So that's one good point. But next time I'm putting in the clear elastic or just regular elastic, I think you could probably just use a regular elastic. As long as it's 1 centimetre or smaller, then that's fine. And then that's pretty much it. So I'll stand back and let you look at it. So the print is a little bit busy, so you might not be able to see it properly. As I step away, it's just looking like a big mass of flowers. But yeah, so it's just above my knee, I'd say, or just a couple of inches above my knee. I wanted it to be shorter so that I can wear it with boots, and I just have some maroon coloured tights on with it, which I thought looked quite nice. Quite like the different colour. This is a black and it has tiny flowers on it. I don't know if you can see. I'll actually put my sleeve up. Tiny, very pale pink flowers on there. They are a pale pink. It looks white, but they are very pale pink. Actually, no, there's white and pale pink. It's a really lovely fabric, like I say. Let's get my step. Where's my step gone? Nearly lost my step there. Let's get my so you can see it properly on this full length. There you go. I really, really love it. It's really cute. I much prefer it with shorter length on me. And I love the sleeves. I love the fit. Now with this, you can either have it wrapped around there. I've seen other people wear it so it's further up across there, which I think looks nice both ways really. But I've just been wearing it like that. I didn't make any adjustments to this where the waist seam sits, and I think it sits perfectly on me. And again, remember, I'm a shorty, so for me, I thought, you know, actually, if you are maybe, I don't know, I'd say the standard size isn't. I think the standard size is meant to be 5'6", isn't it, in the UK? I don't know, but I think you'd have to lengthen this, in all honesty, because for me, it sits on there perfectly, and I do have a very short torso. But for me, it's great and I love it. So I have obviously got other fabric that I'm going to make this in. I'll still sit down so you can see my face. It's a terrible habit I've got, haven't it? Just standing up and just talking away. So I have got the fabric, which I think I showed you in another vlog. And it is a French terry that was gifted to me by Minerva. And I really, really love this fabric. And I have already started making it. It's coming together nicely. I am making the other version because it's a French terry and it's a heavier weight fabric. I'm going to make the version 1 with just the 3/4 circle skirt on it. And yeah, so far so good. It's looking good, and that will be in my January makes. But yeah, I really, really like this pattern, and I'm chuffed I've done it now. I'm really glad I've made it. I wore it already out to see my friend last week. We went to meet for a cup of tea, which led then onto a glass of Prosecco, which was very nice. And yeah, it's really comfortable. It's really nice. I like wearing it around the house, but I've also worn it out. So it's a very versatile pattern. And that's about it I've got to say about it really. I'm gonna, yeah, like I say, make another one, and it's already processed and been made, so you'll see that very soon. Okay, so before I put on the next one, I was just going to show you these things first. I made myself a hat I've knitted this, and I made it over the Christmas break because I was watching a lot of TV in front of the television. I just sat and did nothing, and I knitted this, and I absolutely love this. I adore it. It's so, so sweet. And it's a pattern I have got off the Makerist, and I think I got this pattern in the $2 sale last year, and I really, really love it. Now I will put the link down below of this particular pattern, and I'll probably put underneath here what it's called by the whoever it is, because I cannot remember. I know I was meant to look beforehand and I've forgotten, but I really love it. I love the little pattern on it, and yeah, it's the first hat I've ever made. I'm so chuffed with it because I can't buy hats. Hats don't fit me, and normally I have to buy children's hats because I have got such a small head. And this one I've obviously knitted, so I'm really, really pleased. It fits my tiny little head. And it's comfortable. So the only thing with buying children's hats is once I've washed them a few times, they tend to shrink a little bit, and then they're too tight and they kind of like pop off my head. But adult hats are just huge and I just look ridiculous in them. So I'm really happy with this hat, and as it's the first one I've ever knitted, I'm really, really pleased. I'm going to make some more. I think I've got another pattern of this same designer of this pattern, because I think it's a really beautiful pattern. I did shorten it slightly, so I didn't knit as many rows for the pattern at the top. I think it's one of those you just kind of guess really on your head size. You may need to add some or, you know, take some away, but I just guessed. I have another hat that I've got from years and years ago. I've had this hat for ages and it's the only one that fits me, and I've just kind of put the two together and I measured it that way and thought, well, that's roughly about the right size, and it is. And so I'm really pleased. And again, I've used the same yarn or wool that I used for my gloves, which I should have here. So I made these gloves, which you've already seen, and it's the same one with the glittery sort of frosty kind of glitter in it, and it's the same. So I wear them both together and I love them. So yeah, I'm really pleased about that. The instructions, I assume, yeah, I'd say they're not great. If you're a beginner, you may have to have a look at the different particular knit stitches to work out how to do it, and also you've got to really concentrate on these particular bits doing this pattern. A few times I made a few mistakes and had to rip it back and then do it again. But again, I was doing it while I was watching the TV, which is probably not a good thing. You need to concentrate properly. My mind was drifting. So yeah, that was that particular thing that I made. And also through Vlogmas, Rowan from the Yorkshire Sew Girl was doing some nice lunchtime tutorials, which I just thought were brilliant and hilarious. And she made some bookmarks, which I think are fabulous. And I made quite a few of these, so I will put some pictures of some others I made for people, for gifts. So yeah, I made this out of some fabric that I already had. I made a bag for my friend, and this was left over. So these are fantastic. So if you haven't seen it, I'm sure you probably have. Rowan has this lovely little lunchtime tutorial on her Vlogmas that you can follow, and it's so simple and they're so quick to make. That's why I chose this particular one to make for people for gifts, because I was short of time and I just hadn't made anything for anyone. And yeah, I made my husband some and a few other friends that I've made some for. So yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Rowan, if you ever see this vlog. And another thing that I made, and I have made this before for people for gifts, I made them last year for Christmas, and it is a neck warmer. And I can't remember the name of the pattern company that this is from, but I will put it along the bottom. It's Apple Cottage something. I can't remember what it is, but I will put it below, and it's basically a neck warmer. So I've made this for myself. I've made them for lots of other people, but I had some of this left over from making it a toaster sweater, I think. And I really wanted one for work because when I'm weighed down with all the stuff that I have to take with me for teaching, I have my bag with all my paraphernalia in there and my yoga mat and, you know, trying to get on the bus and this and that. The fingerless gloves are proving to be an absolute, must, and I wanted something that was not a scarf, because the scarves really get on my nerves and they kind of fly off me. So this has been perfect. I've just been wearing it, and actually I've been teaching in it as well because I've been really cold. I've actually been teaching in it and just keeping it on, and it's perfect and it doesn't get in my way and it's fabulous. So yeah, that was cable knit fabric I had from First for Fabrics a couple of years back, and I put a little label in there. You might have seen it already. It's a Kylie in the Machine label. I don't know if you can see that. It basically says can't stop, and on the other side it says won't stop. And I really love it. It's really cute. I've had quite a few people look at me with this on, and I can see that they've got envy in their eyes. Oh, where did she get that from? So yeah, that's a really good pattern as well. And again, that's a free pattern. I know that Karen from So Little Time has also done some of those. I think she's done the infinity scarf from that particular pattern company. And again, that's a free pattern. Fabulous. Great patterns. Okay, so before I speak about the one that I'm wearing right now, I just remembered as I was taking this off, the Georgie dress, it has elastic in the waist. So you have to gather the skirt before you attach it to the bodice. But you only then tack that onto the bodice, and then you have to attach elastic. Now I found this a bit strange because you cut the elastic to the size of the skirt, so whatever size skirt you've done, you cut the elastic to the same size, and then you're meant to put that around the waist. And it does say not to stretch the elastic. Well, I had to, and mine didn't fit, so I wasn't sure what was going on there. I had to stretch mine elastic to get it in, even though I cut it to the right length and I did exactly the same width of the circumference of the skirt. I couldn't it didn't go in. So where I've chosen to stretch it a little bit is the little bit at the back. So right at the lower spine, I've had to stretch it to make it fit. One point that I found, I don't know whether my skirt stretched out or something, I don't know why, but it didn't quite fit, so that made no sense to me. So if you come up with that, if you make this and you find the same problem, I wouldn't worry about it. It doesn't look bad, it looks fine. So yeah, just thought I'd say that bit. I've had to put the ring light on. It's getting too dark now, so apologies. But yes, so I love this pattern. Let me go and find it. I still haven't picked out where it is. Okay, so the pattern that I am wearing now is the Nina Lee Southbank sweater, and you may recognise this if you saw my vlog from Christmas and me wanting to make this for Christmas Day. Well, Christmas Day I didn't actually wear it because I suddenly just had a crazy hot flush, and I don't know why I had a hot flush. I was just baking and I just could not get it on me. I just felt so stifled. So I didn't actually wear it for Christmas Day, but I did wear it for Boxing Day, which is the day after Christmas Day here in the UK. And it was lovely and really, really snuggly to wear. My mother-in-law really loved it as well, and she went and bought the pattern straight away. So I'm really pleased that she thought that it was nice and she wanted to make it, and she has, I think, made it. I haven't heard any reviews of it yet, but I'm sure she'll tell me soon. But yeah, so the colour may come up slightly odd because it's really dark suddenly, as always. It's always the way with these things. I start doing something when it's daylight and then it just gets dark on me. It's a pillar box red. That's the shade I think it's kind of similar to, if you know what a pillar box red looks like. But anyway, I shall stand back and let you see it. So here it is, and I love this pattern. It's such a flattering pattern. It has such a lovely line and shape that goes down and around the hip area, and it's really quite roomy, I would say. I hadn't realised that when I made this the first time, I only made a size 8, and I didn't think it was going to be big enough, but it's actually quite, yeah, it's quite oversized, I'd say. Not hugely oversized because you get that lovely shape, but it's a comfortable oversized, which is perfect, I think. I shall stand on my step again so you can see the length that it is. Now I thought I left this the length that it is, but I have actually shortened it. So it's just above, I'd say a few inches above my knee. I think it's nice for the length being a shorter length for me. So I can wear it with boots and I think it looks really nice. So I think I took off 2 inches off the length, and then I took 2 3/4 inches off the sleeves. They were a little bit long for me, and I think the cuff fits me nicely. I actually think I might make it a little tiny bit longer next time, just because I like my sleeves to sit a little bit longer on me, just to make me feel more snuggly. But yeah, I love this, and I think it's a really comfortable neck as well. Like a lot of these patterns that have like a funnel neck, I think can sometimes be a bit stifling and make you feel a little bit too over sort of covered up. But this has a nice roomy one, and I feel that it's really comfortable and airy. So yeah, and it is this cable knit. You may just be able to see the pattern on it, maybe not, just about. And again, this is a fabric I bought from Festive Fabrics a few years ago, and I didn't know what to do with it, so I thought Christmas dress, that's what it's going to be. It's a really simple pattern to do, really quick, and I am such a super slow sewer. If you've seen the previous vlog where I get this made just before Christmas, I look a complete wreck in that vlog, because I was so tired and I was so stressed out that I managed to make it and then didn't wear it Christmas Day. I was a bit annoyed with myself, but I did manage to wear it, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, I look a bit of a wreck. I was so tired. I was trying to sew in the middle of the night, and of course I was just too tired. I couldn't do it. And because I'm such a slow sewer, it just shows you that you could probably make this in an hour if you're really good at sewing and super fast. It just takes me a lot longer. I get distracted easily and my mind wanders. So yeah, but I love it. I love it. It's really, really snuggly. If you haven't got this pattern, I definitely recommend you get it. You can still buy the physical pattern from Minerva. So that's where my mother-in-law bought it from. Pattern, you can just about see it there. So you can have the version where it's just a cropped jumper and then also a regular size jumper, or you can do the one I've done, which is the jumper dress, and it's a fantastic pattern. So like I said, I made a straight size 8, bust 34, waist 26 and hip 35.5. Now I am a 34 bust, 28-inch waist and 37-inch hip. So it just shows you there's a little bit of room in there. There's a little bit of give. So bear that in mind if you're making it. So yeah, I really love everything I've made this past month. It may not be in a lot of things, but for me, I felt I actually did quite well considering. And I think that's everything that I've got to show you. There was another thing that I purchased over Christmas. Now, it is sewing related because you do use it for sewing. They had a sale on in the supermarket. My supermarket that's by me is a Sainsbury's. And they had their irons and I think cookery stuff on offer. 50% off, I think it was. I have purchased myself a new iron. Now, I wanted a new iron for a long time. The other iron I was using was the kind of household iron. My husband says it was his iron. He bought the iron because he's the ironer in the house. Surprise, surprise. My husband is very good at ironing. I am not good at ironing. And he's always ironed all his own shirts for work and always done his own ironing. And he does. He's a very good ironer. So if anything needs ironing, he does it. And he bought that iron and he still says to this day, that's his iron. So I was using that iron for my sewing and I wanted my own iron essentially. And also I struggle with the weight of the irons of today. They're really heavy. And I don't ever mention this because it's, you know, one of those things. It's life, isn't it? We all have these problems with us. And it seems surprising because I'm so active all the time. I do have rheumatoid arthritis. I was diagnosed a few years ago and it's mainly in my wrists, my fingers and my feet. I have got it in my back, but I work my back really strongly with all the back exercises. I do a lot of core work and I try and make sure that my back doesn't get too sore most of the time, but it's one of those things that I manage. However, ironing is just a real struggle for me. So I wanted a new iron. I have purchased one and it is this iron, which I absolutely love. If you could be in love with an iron, I'm in love with this iron. So It is a Russell Hobbs iron, and I've had one of these before. The one my husband's got, my husband's iron, here's a Russell Hobbs, and so I knew it was a good iron. And it is a steam iron. It has a ceramic, I think, is it ceramic sole plate they call it, or something special on the bottom. And it's just a really good iron, and it's much lighter than most of the irons I have tried and picked up. When it's got water in it, it is a bit heavier, but I don't tend to pick it up and use it for long anyway. So I thought it was quite a nice iron. I love the colour of it. I'm so superficial. It's like, oh, the colour's pretty. So yeah, I really, really love this iron. And it has obviously the steam function, but with this one, it has no dial to it. You get different colours to show you the different temperatures, which I think are very good. And I've never had an issue with them. So it may still be on offer if you fancy a new iron. I think it was reduced to £35. I think the regular price for this was about 50 something. So I thought, I'm getting that. That's bargain as far as I'm concerned, £35 for a good iron. So yeah, it's a Russell Hobbs, and it's called the Colour Control Pro. That's it. 2,600 watts, whatever that means. I have nothing else to say. I'm going to leave it there. I've probably talked lots more than I thought I was going to. I don't think I have anything else to say about the makes I've made. I hope you've enjoyed seeing my vlog today. I hope you've liked the things that I made. And of course, as always, I love to hear your comments. I love to have a little natter with people over the comments. And if you like the video, then also please just give me the thumbs up. That would be great. And I hope you're all really well. I hope you're all enjoying getting some sewing done for the new year. And I look forward to bringing you some more content. So anyway, thanks everybody. And as always, sending you all loads of love. Bye.